the glory. Every other weekend there's a cognac story. Before we give a toast, better make sure they pour me another glass and put it in the air for the time that passed. I said bask in the glory. Every other weekend there's a cognac story. Before we give a toast, better make sure they pour me another glass and put it in the air for the time.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Torey Lanez, and you are listening to Cognac Stories. Today, I'm joined by one of my illustrious panelists, community activist, educator, cultural critic, polo connoisseur.
He's no
introduction, but I'm gonna go ahead and give him one. Zay Rivera, aka the Necessary Troublemaker. This is where the round of applause would come if we had one. I don't have a sound yet.
Yes,
Say that for
yes, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm a Ralph Lauren fanatic, Air Max junkie. But anyway, not to get in that materialistic shit because people be like, oh my God. But anyway, thank you, man.
No doubt,
Happy
no
to
doubt,
be back
man.
Here, man. It's episode what? We gotta count that. It's episode 4.
Episode 3, because the test episode, I labeled that one episode 0. Hopefully no one listens to that because I go back and listen to it now and it was terrible. But how was your weekend, man? How was your weekend, bro? We have Valentine's Day, just like 2 days ago. How was your weekend, brother?
Yeah, it was cool. You know, I kept it low key. You know what I'm saying? And my wife told me to keep it low key, but now I'm starting to feel like, was that a trap? Because social media put a lot of pressure on the Joker. And I did the traditional stuff, but took the family out to eat. It was cool, man. This is a restful weekend I needed. I just miss NFL football. What about you?
You know, it was cool, man. I didn't do shit because we're still in a pandemic, still locked down, you know, so I did some homework, stayed at home. I tried to redo my taxes to figure out if I actually owe money, and I actually do owe money, so that made the weekend extra shitty. But other than that, you know, everything's cool, man. I was looking at Valentine's Day, right? And you know how you got that one friend that anytime it's like a holiday or some shit like that, that motherfucker got to be extra woke, got to throw the Dr. Umar hat on. That used to be me, dog. You know what I'm saying? So I'm looking at shit, right? And I'm looking at like, you know, Valentine's Day coming. It's like, yo, that's a man-made holiday. They trick you into, you know, doing things nice for your girl for one day out of 360, like all that shit, right? I used to be like that. And then I used to be like that, man. And then the pandemic, you know, it kind of changes that because it's like, yo, fuck all the commercial shit. What it's about is just like showing the people that you love them. You know what I'm saying? That you ride for them, right? And I'm like, we always, you know, show like our lady or our guy, your significant other, whatever, our kids, that kind of shit. You know, we show them love, right? You know, but I'm gonna put you on the spot, man. When's the last time you told one of your boys you love them?
I told my dudes I love them a lot, bro. Pause, no homo, but I do. It's funny you say that. But I do tell my dudes that I love them. You know what I'm saying? I don't say it like I love you. I think the delivery matters. So
you don't like, bro. You don't like looking in his eye when you say that, man?
Not at all. So yeah, I do tell like my good friends that, man, and I think it's interesting because as an adult, you know what I mean? You never know when the last time you would speak to somebody. So I think it's important to sometimes leave the conversation on that note, man. Let them know so there's no doubt about it that you love them. So yeah, that's funny you mentioned that word. Yeah. I do tell my good friends that word.
Yeah, because I know I do that with my people, man. And I know they get annoyed with that shit sometimes, but they understand where it's coming from. And it's just like you said, man, you know, we see people dropping left and right from everything, not even just COVID, man. You just had rest in peace to Nicki Minaj's father. He just got hit with a hit and run, you know, just taking a regular walk and it's over, you know. So a lot of times, you know, we always say like when you enter a room, you're in a conversation or anything, you want to lead with love. I like what you said, where you leave with love as well. You know what I'm saying? Because that's like the last impression you have on somebody, you know. And a lot of times, especially when we're not on the best of terms with people, you know, shit, it kind of gets funny, you know. So I always try to tell my dudes, my people, you know, I love you, because you never know, man. I live a wild lifestyle, man. You know, I might go on a coke binge. You never know. Shit might blow up. I might turn into the young Robert Downey Jr. You know what I'm saying? So,
and you know, I think that also ties inside when we get older, right? The older you become, you become more aware of your mortality. Yeah. And you start to think about these things, and it's crazy because I used to look at my mother like, damn, you go to mad funerals, but now I'm starting to see myself like knowing a lot of people who passed away. So it's so important, man, to just let the real ones know you love them, man. And yeah, man, that's really important, man.
Yeah. So with that being said, Rihanna, I know you listening. I love you, baby. I'm waiting. I'm not. I know. ASAP. That's just practice. Just like Drake said, he just practiced for me. It's all good. But let's go ahead and get to the entertainment. All right. So we see Dave Chappelle. Dave Chappelle is in the news again because just recently he asked everybody to stop watching this TV show. He wanted Netflix to pull it. And what happened was that he got the rights back to his show. So that's great for him. You know, he leveraged social media. All right. So what we were talking about the other day with what everybody's doing in the stock market, right? And how we push the culture, we control the tempo. He leveraged social media, he leveraged his fans, he leveraged you guys, right? Got you guys to stop watching the show, and he got the rights back to his IP, his property. So now he's the owner of his, he didn't own his name, he didn't own the title, he didn't own his name before. Now he owns all of that again now, you know, so another 50 million from you know, Comedy Central, and he's good, you know. So a round of applause to all y'all that got Dave Chappelle another check. Any thoughts on Dave Chappelle getting his rights back?
I think, you know, because sometimes people look at anomalies and think that they're going to be the norm. But I think Jimmy Johnson, the former Dallas Cowboy coach, I can't find his quote, I was just looking it up, but I remember back in the day, he said there's two type of rules. There's rules for superstars, because he was referring to Emmitt Smith, and rules for everybody else. Yeah. You know, we talk about this, you know, equality, but this country is definitely a meritocracy. And he has the leverage to pull that. You know what I'm saying? He has a power and a loyal fan base. I mean, look, he's not even doing comedy no more. He's pretty much just doing, he's just talking. He's like an orator now. You know what I'm saying? Like a folk, like a folk artist almost.
Yeah,
but
it's like a storyteller.
Yeah, exactly. He's transitioned to that seamlessly without nobody calling him out, because he's like revered in the culture. And I think, you know, him having the power move to do that, that's dope. You know what I'm saying? But everybody can't do that, because everybody don't got that leverage or that cultural impact. And you know, he, and also I think you got to put just a nuance of his argument, because he did acknowledge that, you know, it wasn't wrong for them to do that. You know, it just was, I mean, not wrong for them in the economic standpoint. You know what I'm saying? Because again, it's different buckets people have to view things through. You know, ethically that's wrong. You know, business wise that's right. So you know, they did the right thing overall because of who he was, but they ain't gonna work with everybody else. So people gotta chill if they like up become a starving artist talking about, I want to get off my contract, but you going double wood. Chill, slow down.
Yeah, absolutely. Because just like with Dave Chappelle, right? When Dave Chappelle got his show, he was just like a regular music artist that enters a new recording contract with a label, you know, and they're paying for the production costs of his TV show. They're distributing it on a network. So they're giving you a check flat out, bam, and they're taking ownership of all that because they need that to get in the syndication so they can recoup all that, you know. But yeah, the same thing Dave Chappelle did is no different than, you know, what Megan Thee Stallion did, what Little Uzi Vert did, you know, all these acts that are requesting deals be restructured and trying to get back their publishing, their various rights. That's all they're doing is leveraging their fan base, you know. So shout out to Dave Chappelle. Apparently he also has a new special coming. So that's what's up. Happy for Dave Chappelle. Next, I don't like Justin Timberlake, so I'm gonna try to not be biased. Like I don't want to pull any punches. Like I don't want to pull any punches. I don't want to seem like I'm being objective, because I'll be the first one to say that you should be objective, right? Especially if you're on this kind of platform. So I'm going to be objective and just say I don't like Justin Timberlake. So he is in the news for apologizing to Janet Jackson. He also apologized to Britney Spears, but we're not concerned with that. We're concerned with Janet Jackson. All right, Miss Jackson, if you're nasty. So he finally came out and said that he apologized for his participation in the wardrobe malfunction that happened at the Super Bowl. Was that like 20 years ago?
I just listened to something before this. It was 17 years ago. It was 2004.
17 years ago. 17 years ago.
Yeah.
And he apologized for that. And you know what? Congratulations, Justin Timberlake. However, two things. One, is late as fuck. All right. So you get no credit for that. And then two, you're only doing this because we stopped fucking with your music. That's it. Right. That's it. We stopped fucking with your music. Your last album wasn't that great. All right, you ruined a pair of Jordans by putting the check mark on them, and I'm gonna just leave it at that. I don't like Timberlake. He just apologized.
When did
I
he
can't
drop
be
music that
objective.
we? I can't remember.
Man in the Woods. That was his last album. Man in the Woods.
Oh, yeah, I remember that. Wasn't he trying to go like in a different direction from his R&B fan base? He was like he didn't work with Timberland on that or something, right?
Nah, he was trying to cultivate that Make America Great Again audience, and it backfired.
Yeah.
I'm lying, but he was trying to go into
I
he was
remember
trying to
that.
express himself creatively. He went into the woods, got lost, and now he's asking for the black folks to help him because we said, hey, until you apologize to Janet, we're not fucking with you, bro. It's been long enough, you know.
Well,
So
I don't know if that's true because I'm pretty sure all them songs he made, like Suit and Tie, came after that Janet situation.
yes,
But
I am all speculation because I am biased. So I'm
But-
just making shit up right now.
I don't know. I think this whole, I just think that I don't know, man. I just get annoyed with all these long ass Twitter apologies. First of all, did you apologize to her? I think that'd be dope. Like if someone come out and say, how about the person you apologize if they come out and tweet like, yo, such and such just sent me a real heartfelt message or had a strong conversation. To me, that would be stronger than you doing this open letter to the court of public opinion, right? Because to me, that show you that you're genuine. Now, I don't know if you had a conversation with her, but these things just seem very calculated by public relations. Like someone just saw reading the room, like, yo, you need to get on this, you need to get ahead of this because they're mad about Britney. You need to get ahead of this because it's Black History Month. So they're gonna get mad about you about Janet again.
That's what I'm saying. The Black History rollout.
Like it just I just don't like buy it. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know. I think time will tell if he got an agenda more so beyond trying to stay on our side. Because if he come out with some music soon, then it's gonna really be some bullshit, man. But I don't know. Too little, too late.
He's got it. Everybody is hyper aware of everything, and women have all the momentum. So they have taken stock to everybody, to everybody that's done some wild shit, and they're like, nah, you gotta pay, bro. And it's just like you said, like Britney's back in the news because of like her emancipation issues with her dad controlling the stuff. And they're like, hey, what about Justin? And we just had a Super Bowl, and they're like, yo, it's been a long time, and Justin played a role in both of these, in two big, superstar
Pop
females,
Pop
career.
stars. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and he's had a negative effect on both of their careers at the points where he was involved, where he turned the fans against Britney because of their relationship. And then when Janet had her issue, he just said,
cry me a river.
He dipped out.
Cry me a river, man, over that Britney Spears stuff.
Yeah, hey, man, it's a dope record, man. But
See what I did there?
Yeah, but yeah, man, you will not see me listening to Justin Timberlake records. There will be no album review. Much success and all that good shit to you, Timberlake.
So you mean to tell me? You mean to tell me if you was in a bar,
I'll smack the shit out of Timberlake,
and to the end of time came on, and a girl was just looking sexy as hell. I'm gonna love you.
Is that a Timberlake song? I wouldn't know.
Whew, that song, man, that's a classic.
That's a Timberlake song?
Timberland and Beyonce, actually. Well, Beyonce did a remix with him, but that's a banger right there. But anyway, I feel you though. He can't.
Yeah, if it's not Timberland, if it's not Timberland or Neptune's on production, I do not listen to Timberlake. That is the interlock. That's the caveat, the gateway drug. Like okay. I don't. Nah, man, I'm good. Like he's shown his character over the years, and it's not saying that he's a bad guy, just not my type of artist I fuck with. Another thing, enough about him. Torey Lanez, all right. What the fuck is going on with Torey Lanez? Because he's moving.
He is moving like nothing's wrong.
He's moving like nothing's wrong, and everybody else is doing shit with him.
Yes, I thought he was radioactive before. Now people taking pictures with him, playing basketball with him. Yo, it's funny you say that. And you even got that on the list of things to talk about. But I was thinking like, yo, like I thought he was radioactive.
I mean, he was for about 3 months, and then he went to his arraignment, I guess, wherever the fuck they had. I don't know. I'm not even following the case anymore because it's hard for me to do that when the victim is twerking every 5 seconds. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, yo, you know what? I'll let the courts concern themselves with it. You know what I'm saying? Like I'll support victims and support Black women, but I'm okay. Like it's in the court system right now, and neither one of them seems worried about it. You know,
Neither
that's the
they
thing.
like they young and live like they both look like they living like they on a spring break every damn week.
Yeah, because if you recall, when Chris Brown and Rihanna had their shit, they kind of fell back from the limelight for damn near a year. For nearly a year. And after this shit happened, they were back on IG Live, going back and forth. Like they were still a couple. You know what I'm saying?
But I think also that kind of speaks to maybe whoever their PR people are. Maybe they probably like, yo, they probably told them to do this, like stay in the public eye. So it might be a strategy behind that. It's a method to that madness, and it's working for Tory. I ain't
it's
seen
working for Tory. It's
really
working for
working for him,
Tory.
bro.
Yeah.
It's really working for him, and I wonder will that translate over when they go to court, because public opinion is so influential.
Yeah, I think and it depends on how to. Is it a civil case? Is it a criminal case? Like we got two witnesses that they've been radio silent the whole time, so really it's just like a he say she say thing at this point. We know somebody was shot, we know somebody had a gun, we and that's so my thing is still like, yo, you shot a woman. It was an accident. It's an accident. It's on purpose. Like I don't really need to know the details.
It's no way of justifying that. How?
There's a way to justify it. She grabs the gun. They're wrestling for it at the bottom of the car, shoots in the foot. That's the only way. But still, it's like, bro, you got security. Why was there a gun even accessible by anybody in the car? You know what I'm saying? And that's my thing, man. But yeah, Torey Lanez is, you know how like you would cheat on your girl or some shit, and she kind of caught you, but you still just moved like that shit never happened. That's Torey Lanez right now. Like Torey Lanez is moving like that motherfucker that got caught doing some shit, but he's like, yo, fuck it. You can leave. You can leave or live with it. Just like Pusha T said, you can leave or live with it. And that's what he's telling the fans and the media right now, is that you can leave me the fuck alone and say I'm radioactive, or you can just live with the shit. Like every other artist that's done some shit like this. And that's what I think is going to happen.
Eddie Murphy, I remember Eddie Murphy had a joke. I think it was in Delirious. Like, it wasn't me. Like, it's just a serious, like, wasn't me. He said, like, instead of trying to argue about it, it just reminded me of that, man. And that's a great point, bro. I'm interested to see how this develops, man.
Because like my concern is like, and none of this shit was on the fucking docket for today. None of this shit was on the docket, right? And now it goes into the real question, right? Let's say you got a friend and he's accused of domestic violence. How do you support him? Or do you leave him alone? Or can you still be in public with him? Or do you have, like, how do you support the victim when you know both of them? Like, what's the protocol? Like, what's appropriate,
Well, maybe you got to approach it like America with China. You know what I'm saying? We know what they're doing to the Uyghurs, but we getting money with them. So it's like that.
Yo.
Nah, I told my two students about the Uyghurs today, and I just said, like, that's like association. You're guilty by association. But I just think it depends on how big you are on principles. Now, if you're talking that principle shit, you got to stand by that and stay away from those people that go against what you stand for. Me personally, I can't stand with someone that's a deadbeat dad, an abuser, a thief. You know what I'm saying? I just can't do those type of things. So I would keep my distance, man, and I choose my morals, values, and principles over clout. You know what I'm saying? But everybody not cut from that cloth no more. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I feel you, man. Because it's like you assume that the people in the music industry, they're all friends or whatnot, so they're still gonna be around people. But it's like, yo, like, we know what happened, and so if I'm rocking with you, does that mean I support what you did? If I haven't said anything of the different, saying like, yo, you know what? I don't condone his actions, but that's still my man. I'm supporting him. That's what they do in politics. That's what they do in politics, but we don't do that shit like in real life.
But also, I can't argue when people use the innocent to proven guilty argument. Like, to me, that principle does matter. You know what I'm saying? We don't live by that enough as a society.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Because you presume innocent until proven guilty, right? So I guess the people that standing next to him, if they say that, honestly, I'd be like the cops when you are in a room getting interrogated. Like, I want to speak to my lawyer. I fall back. Like, all right, well, you waiting until we find out the truth, and I can't be mad at you for doing that.
Yeah, that's wild, man. So good luck to everybody involved in their court proceedings. I hope justice is served.
And people like Nori, man. Nori the old head, man. I saw Nori standing next to Torey Lanez, man. I'm like, yo, come on, Nori. Like, certain people from my generation need to just like leave these young boys alone. Stop trying to get their mojo, man.
I mean, Here's the thing, man, and this may seem like a hot take, but we put more relevance on like not snitching than we do with holding other men accountable. You know what I'm saying? Because we're quick to say, yo, don't snitch, don't snitch, don't snitch. Snitching is some whole shit, yada yada yada. You know, but when it comes to your man not taking care of his kids, your man beating his wife or treating his woman, you know, or dogging her out, whatever, we don't keep that same energy. Like we don't keep that same energy of trying to hold people accountable to these morals and principles that we have. And that's the shit that like somebody snitching does not matter at all, right? In the long run in the grand scheme of the community, right? But how a man interacts with the women in his life, that does affect not only that family, but the extended people around them. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, yo, we put more credence into a motherfucking street cred than our actual manhood, you know? So that's just something I noticed.
Selective morality.
Yeah, exactly.
Word.
But all right, man, let's get into some actual real stuff here, some topics, man. So the first thing I want to talk about is there's been a House bill proposed that would have public schools offer a semester-long course in Black American history. So in Alabama, in Colbert County, a new House bill proposes public K through 12 schools should include a semester-long course in Black American history. If passed, the required course will provide, it will cover important events in Black American history, including the history of slavery in America. And then in Alabama, their long history has included Black Americans for centuries, from slavery to being the birthplace of historic figures like Nat King Cole and Rosa Parks.
Whoa. You said Nat King Cole. You mean Nat King Cole? Or you meant like Nat Turner?
No, like Nat King Cole.
Oh, my bad. No. I thought that was a mistake. I'm about to say, what the hell? No, what he got to do with that?
No, we're just talking about Alabama people that was born there, man. But yeah, and so this is interesting because we just saw in Utah where they had a school that had the ability to make it optional, where you could opt out of Black History Month, and now you have Alabama, which is doing the opposite and trying to make a semester-long course teaching in depth what happened or just Black American history. Which yourself as an educator, what's your take on this?
First of all, I want to make sure we have the same interpretation. The House bill was for the legislation of Alabama, correct? Not like the House of Representatives for the whole country, right?
No, just Alabama.
Okay, all right. I'm about to say, hold up. My take on it is, I think what people need to do is attack the writers of the standards, right? I think we need to have a discussion, open up the standards, the Common Core, because that's what we as educators have to teach by. So it's Common Core that was established by the No Child Left Behind with the Bush administration. And this is just pretty much standardizing the standards that we learn across the board. And, you know, of course, it's very Eurocentric, you know, white-centric. So I think they just need to do a better job of including every ethnic background or community that built this country, all the leaders, and intertwine that, do a better job of telling the whole picture. And instead of trying to do like this type of thing right here. I don't necessarily agree with this. You know what I'm saying? Making it mandatory, because I feel like the history that they're trying to go for is all teaching the struggle. And my take against this is history doesn't necessarily teach empathy. It just sometimes teach sympathy. And I think that's I don't want sympathy. I want like equal voice, because I want everyone to understand like, yo, we all put something into this. And I think they need to focus on trying to like get rid of this white supremacist centric, and I hate saying white supremacist. I feel like that's a hot button issue, but it just shows that, you know, like the way, like, you know, philosophers from Greek philosophers are the best philosophers. The Enlightenment is the best intellectual era. So we're just saying that all these European movements are the best of humanity, right? And that's not true. So to me, that is the way you're teaching supremacy indirectly. You need to maybe rethink those things. You know what I'm saying? I told my students when I be quoting Hove, I say, you know, I quote Hove because Hove is like my philosopher. You know what I'm saying? I can use these things he said.
Facts.
Into my conversation. You know what I'm saying? More so than I can talk about Socrates, Plato, and all those people. So I just think we got to sometimes, you know, rethink these constructs that we've been following for so long.
Yeah. Hey, so I gotta offer a correction. So this is not for Alabama. It's proposed by 2 representatives from Alabama. This is for a nationwide mandate.
It's nationwide.
Yeah, this is a nationwide mandate. And right now, what has to happen is that the bill must first clear the House Education Policy Committee before being sent to potential votes in the House and Senate. And so that's man, that's a slippery slope, man, because you want the history being taught, but you don't want it being force fed. And then if it's going to be a mandate to all American public schools, then you already know it's going to be whitewashed.
Exactly.
Like it's going to be sanitized, because they're not going to talk about they're not going to talk about COINTELPRO in a public school the way it needs to be talked about. Like if you're receiving federal tax dollars, you're not going to have a federally funded course that talks about how the FBI assassinated every black leader.
Yeah,
That's not going to happen. And that's what happens, is that you'll get the sanitized version of history. And no one wants that. And then the other thing is that I don't think it's be mandated, because what's stopping them from saying, okay, if we're going to make Black history mandatory, then we're going to make sex ed mandatory, or now we're going to make creationism or evolution mandatory. And we all know that those type of things have been super, super hot button issues. And we've shut down schools. We've had riots over shit like that, over teaching creationism or evolution in school. There were goddamn Supreme Court cases about this shit. So what we teach in the schools, especially when it's public education, is very crucial. So I think the way you said, with integrating all the cultures in American history, that is what needs to be done, because you have damn near every culture that's here in America, was started by some kind of minority group that came in under these, harsh circumstances, and then found a way to make it happen. If they found a way to pull themselves up by their bootstraps and create something here. And if we could just teach that instead of the struggle, right? You teach what came out of that struggle, and instead of saying, Martin Luther King and Malcolm X and Medgar Evers were all killed, you still have a million other Black leaders that didn't get killed, who you can focus on, that lived long lives and died in their beds surrounded by family. And plus you have the other generations of leaders past that you can talk about. So I think that is what would need to happen, but that would be more on an individual basis. That would be more on the actual teacher and their buy-in to the product that they're putting out to these kids.
Yeah, and they also got to, I think, just at least have it as an elective. I remember Black History, my freshman year of high school, Black History was like an elective. Like they actually taught that in high school. But of course, as the test scores go down, then these electives get taken away. And ultimately, man, that bill is not going to make it to the floor. I don't think so. They're still trying to get a commission to study the economic impact of slavery on America that's never made it. And that seemed like that's a bigger issue. And that's been like in process forever. But at the end of the day, like, it's a capitalist country, guys, and humanities don't make no money. So they're not going to make some humanities centric or oriented like curriculum be mandatory. They're going to push us in, I feel like they're pushing us in the direction of making this math, which is important to get our country back on point competitively, math and STEM. But I don't know. I don't think this is going any further, man. It's symbolic. It's just symbolic. Just like symbolic, like a lot of stuff that people have been doing. Not for the symbolic gestures, man. I'm over that.
Yeah, I think right now everybody, we just want to see results. We want to see actionable items. We want to see results. We want to see plans. Like all the symbolism, that's over.
Yeah,
that's over. It's time for action. To quote Redman, it's time for some action. All right,
Jersey.
All right. So the next thing we want to get into is the police, man. And anybody that knows me knows I'm one of the biggest critics of the police. Shout out to all the good cops out there. You guys know who you are. The ones that are shitty cops, you guys know who you are, and you will continue to be held accountable, all right, by the people. But there was a scientific study done on the Chicago Police Department, and it showed that Black and Hispanic police officers tend to stop, arrest, and use force against civilians less often than white officers do, and female officers of all races use less force than their male colleagues, a new case study showed. So information on the demographics and behavior of thousands of Chicago police officers revealed how officers of different races and genders acted while on similar patrol assignments. While these results do not shed light on why these differences exist, they do suggest that diversifying the U.S. police departments, which are normally all white men, can improve police treatment of minority communities. And that was in the February 12th issue of Science News. All right.
Yes. Data. It said that it's black officers made 15.16 fewer arrests over the course of 100 shifts compared to their white colleagues. And it's just interesting, man. I didn't think about a lot of these data, and also when I read that, it talked about how they was really struggling to do the Open Records Request Act. Like, these police officers and these unions are so powerful, man. Like, they don't want the truth to be revealed. That's why it's not a central location where all the data goes, where we can just study it in its totality. But I don't know, man. One of my things about this is these unions, man. These unions, bro. Like, I be coming at my wife because she's a union person. I never been in a union before.
Yeah. Did you?
I work for a charter, so
okay.
You know what I'm saying. I feel like sometimes unions can protect people, and it's important. But I think a lot of times what I hear is unions are enabling people to get away with shit, and they become so political and such a force that, like, they got the employers shook.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I think, these white officers with these strong union heads, you know what I mean, they're protecting them and allowing them to do this shit, man. It's crazy, bro. It's so much to be said off of this study. I'm glad you put this on the agenda.
Yeah, and I mean, with that, because this is like a multifaceted topic right here, because we got the interaction between minority officers and white officers, and then women using less force than all of them combined. And I think that just has to show with just
compassion.
If I'm walking down the street, right, and I see you with a hoodie and you're just walking, minding your business, you don't look suspicious to me, right? But if you're walking with a hood on to a white cop, you look suspicious, and that's something that, like, we know these factors that they use to determine what's going to be like a 15-to-1 ratio, 15 more stops per shift than the minority officers. That's insane. That just means you're going out there just to fuck with people. It's like, hey, I don't have shit to do but be hurt from the wire and just fucking try to bust heads until I get fucking fired. That's it. And then we seen these same union heads. They're the ones that stopped, or that tried to stop body cams from being mandatory. All right. Yeah. They're the ones that don't want civilian review boards, that don't want all the use of force incidents public. The officer misconduct records that you now see states are starting to make public. They're the ones that stop misconduct, like officer misconduct. So that means you've been found guilty of a crime while in commission of your duties as an officer. Why would they keep that quiet? Why is that private? If my criminal record is public, why would somebody that has cognizant authority over everyone in the community, why would their record not be public? Why would they not be held to a higher standard than we are?
Right, what you I was about to jump into that higher standard, right? They don't keep the same energy across the board, right? They expect these special privileges, special set of rules, but they don't want to be held to a higher level of accountability because they have this special place in society. And it reminds me of a couple years ago, we had went to like this police conversation with the community, and I proposed having a police review board in Asbury Park, and the police chief then, he said, his name, Police Chief Solano, he got a whole bunch of shit with him. But anyway, he said he doesn't feel comfortable with, I'm surprised people in there make a big deal of this, but people that might be like high school graduates or people who aren't as educated being on a police civilian board. So he was just making an argument that people wouldn't be as intelligent enough to do the right thing and maybe just responding based off of emotion instead of logic when holding police accountable. By the way, he's suing Asbury Park as of August of 2019 for reverse discrimination, and he got his suit settled, by the way. But so that's a whole nother story. And also he was in trouble for taking police cars to like Florida for personal business. But again, man, like they need to be held to that accountability. They need to be held to that standard across the board. Keep that same energy.
Yeah, because I mean, like if you look at the standards that we have to have people in the military with, or the standard that you have like a nurse, right? Compared to a cop. If you get a DUI, right, and you're a nurse, you lose your license, right? If you get a DUI and you're in the military, you can lose your career. If you're a cop and you get a DUI, you just go to work the next day. That's what, because we've seen numerous cases where cops have gotten DUIs, or they're on camera trying to use their position to get out of DUIs, and they're allowed back to work. They're allowed right back behind the wheel, you know. And in any other field, you can't do that. You've had cases where cops have been caught drunk on duty. If you're a medical practitioner and you're caught under the influence of alcohol or any kind of drug while in like a duty status, you're on a shift, they'll remove your license. You'll lose the ability to practice medicine. So why is it that I can walk around with a gun and badge, rough you to fuck up, violate the laws that I'm supposed to enforce, and not be held accountable, you know, because of these unions?
Absolutely, but I don't want to deviate too far. I think this was a great topic because it talked about demographics reform, which is demographics reform in policing, aka diversifying law enforcement. Because they said that, you know, in Chicago, what they said, the department is pretty much majority white, you know, and it's a very diverse city. And you know, they got to do a better job of eliminating that stigma and doing a better job of recruiting from within those cities, and also putting people of color in positions of leadership. You know, and again, stop letting these unions undermine leadership. I mean, I know about, I pay attention to Trenton because I teach in Trenton also. So they got a black woman who's a police director. So it's like a civilian position. She's not the chief, quote unquote, but she's in charge of the force. And you got the union trying to undercut her, undermine her, like making public statements, trying to kick her back in. So how are you going to have someone keeping a position of authority and keeping people in line when you got someone like that you paying dues to that's undermining her publicly? So again, and this is because you lack diversity in leadership positions, real leadership positions.
Yeah. I mean, representation matters, you know, and it's like I recall growing up, and you see, you know, we saw a lot of cops that were from our community that looked like us, and so a lot of us were inspired to go become cops. And then that started the trend started to shift away from that, and you had like a bunch of people that weren't from the community, didn't look like you, and now they're becoming cops, and we're not going into law enforcement now, you know, because we don't see us. The people that look like us, they're retired, they left, and then there was no one to continue to cultivate like that new crop, those new recruits. Like they used to have these programs, the Explorers, and one of my cousins was in it, and he was telling me about it, how like after like his graduating class, after they did it, no one like kept back up with it, you know. And I used to think it was cool, you know, you get to ride around with the cops, do shit like that. I'm like, yo, if like, bro, first off, yo, cops get paid. You know what I'm saying?
Hell yeah.
These motherfuckers get paid a lot of money. And you know, you get paid while you're in the academy. You get paid, man. You get paid overtime. And you get paid overtime. You get to get off duty money that you can make. Like it's a big ass money racket. You get a big ass pension, retire, all that kind of stuff, right? So then there's like, if they just got to market police better. Besides the reform, you got to market it, man. You got to make it attractive. Like you see the commercials they have for the military, right? You don't see shit like that for local law enforcement. You don't see commercials or marketing to attract kids to law enforcement. It's like, yo,
show them cars them cops be riding. Them cops
they ride around in Hellcats, man.
They be riding around in big whips.
These
big
motherfuckers,
whips.
Bro, I seen a BMW i8 cop car, you know. And I'm like, yo, if your department has an i8, you should have at least 10 black people in that department.
Man, I know a cop that got a Bentley.
As a cop car?
No, he just got. He got other shit going on, but he like the Mike Lowry.
Yeah, I was about to say, is his name Mike Lowry? Shit, man.
Like, he like Mike Lowry, but it's definitely a way to get you in a good position. Like you said, sometimes if you make it look cool and show like, yo, you can really make a great living off of this shit. It might entice more of our people from our community to pursue it.
Yeah, because I don't know, like there was a time when I wanted to be a law enforcement officer. You know, I wanted to be a cop. I thought about it seriously, but then I realized I couldn't be a cop. And the reason is because I don't like people, you know. And the reason why I say that is because it's like this, man. A cop's job isn't to solve crimes. It's to enforce the laws, right? So if you give somebody like me a gun and badge, I'm going straight to the crack house. You know what I'm saying? I'm going straight to the trap. And then eventually what's going to happen is I'm going to turn into Denzel and I'm going to just be robbing drug dealers, you know? And that's not cool. But I know me. I know I'm going to go out there and try to be fucking Frank Serpico and clean up everything. I'm going to go out there. I'm going to go out there knocking on drug dealers' doors like, yo, I'm going to be like Omar with a badge. It's like, yo, if I can't arrest you, I'm just going to take all your shit every time I see you. That's it. No charge. I'm just taking your shit. You know what I'm saying? And it's like
cop in Asbury. Remember you heard about the cop in Asbury took the drug dealer watches? I know the cop name. I don't want to say his name, but yeah.
I'm not going to keep the shit. I'm gonna turn it in as evidence. But I'm like, yo, this is an active investigation now, bro. Like you're in a known drug area. Like you are. You know, and you don't got to be a dickhead about it. It's just like, bro, you know what time it is. This is a game, and if we're gonna play the game, I'm gonna play the fucking game. But then you don't live a long life like that. You don't make a lot of friends. So all the people that I know that are police officers have they've wisely advised me to not get into law enforcement because I would get myself killed.
Yo, one of your former classmates is a cop.
I got a lot of former classmates.
I'm talking about like one. He like an infamous cop. He like half white, half black.
Oh, you talking about Sean the Shader?
Yeah.
Shout out to Sean the Shader, man. He just shot somebody. But listen. I say that's public news, public record. You will not see me say anything negative about what happened because it happened. It happened, and he was doing his job, man. He was doing his job. From what I saw and from what I read, hey, man, he was doing his job. You know what I'm saying? And they try to play that angle like he's a white cop. He's a white cop that shot a black person. It's like, well,
like, he from Asbury. Like,
yeah, I'm like
he grew up with us.
Exactly. You know,
I don't know the full story, so I'm not taking his side per se or any side for that matter. But I hate when they try to just take the moment that's going on in history and use that shit because they don't apply to everything. It's not a one size fit all.
Yeah, and I mean, just for issues like that, man. That's why we need mental health practitioners out there on these welfare checks, you know, and because we see a rise in all these interactions between cops and people having mental health breakdowns where they know the person that they're going to see, they've seen them more than once, and there's a comfortability level between them, but the law enforcement officer still isn't trained to handle this person's mental breakdown,
to de-escalate that. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they're not truly trained to de-escalate that situation, and that's not knocking the police. You guys just are mental health professionals, you know. Like I don't expect the cop to talk somebody down off a bridge. No, you gonna get pulled down with that motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? Like,
and they need to have a better system because you think about it, right? Like you mentioned, if they keep encountering certain people for certain issues, then maybe they should have a system where if a certain name pops up, it should escalate to a certain part of the department that they go respond. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So, man, that's why they talk about it shouldn't be defunding the police, but reallocating. But yeah, we can go so many different directions with this because we talked about race and the over policing by people from different communities, mainly white people.
Shout out to all the white listeners. If you want to learn how to be an ally, go to www.blackhistorystuff.com. That's not an actual website, but I'm pretty sure you put it in, something will come up.
Something will come up.
No, hey, white people, if you want to learn how to be an ally, just watch BET for one day. You will see Baby Boy. You will see the movie Baby Boy 5 times. That will train you how to be around black folks. All right, that's it. That's all you need. Tyrese will teach you. All right, but no. So so speaking of race, man. Listen, we're gonna talk about black shit all the time. If you're not used to hearing it, get used to hearing it, man.
Yes.
All right, just off rip. All right, off rip. So there's a TV show on, reality TV show, very famous. It's called The Bachelor. I was about to say the Bachelor. So it's the Bachelor.
Turn into a blaxploitation movie.
Yeah. So for the first time, that was called Flavor of Love. That was the blaxploitation Bachelor TV show. Shout out to Flavor Flav for completely embarrassing the culture. But also thank you for introducing us to Delicious. I appreciate that. So so the Bachelor, shout out to Shaq. So the Bachelor, Shaq, if you're listening, eat a dick. Matter of fact, Shaq, how my ass tastes. Rest in peace to Kobe. So so with the Bachelor, they have a black lead character. He's the person that has all the bachelorettes vying for his attention. And they're having a bunch of issues with race on the show because a bunch of the women on the show, Caucasian women, they have had some questionable past, i.e. liking, posts with George Floyd getting kneeled on, and like promoting QAnon theories, all that kind of shit that's like not conducive to being in a relationship with somebody that, kind of doesn't like racism and oppression. So my thing is, fuck the Bachelor. Can you be pro-black if you date outside your race? That's the first thing. That's the first thing. And then two, if you date outside your race or your culture, are there minimum requirements for your potential partner to have?
I think you can be pro-black and date outside your race. That's a funny thing. I've seen people saying that stuff. I mean,
Dr. Umar, come get this nigga. He's a traitor.
Shit. if you use that logic, I mean, I'm talking about the people who use that logic. They use that logic. You might as well just throw Harry Belafonte out the window.
Basically, throw Obama out.
Though a lot of people like Harry Belafonte is pretty much like the godfather of the civil rights movement that had actual legislation passed. I must say, I might add, because people always talk about what they did and didn't do. They actually got laws passed. Yeah, regardless if they followed it or not. Like, ain't too many movements can say no shit like that. But I mean, I don't know. I think it do take away your credibility somewhat, but I think you can still be pro-black. You know what I mean?
Wait, so dating outside your race, or dating a Caucasian woman?
I think dating outside of your race across the board. You know what I'm saying? Because,
so if I date a Dominican, I'm a traitor to my people.
No, I ain't say all that. I just said it takes away.
Hey, I'm trying to set you up. I'm trying to get the little clip that we're gonna. I'm trying to get the clip. I'm like, so you're telling me that I'm a race traitor if I date a Puerto Rican woman?
Hey. Well, I think you have to be aware of how black you are, right? So don't be talking about black relationships if you're not with a black relationship.
Yes,
but it don't take away from you being pro-black. There's different levels to it. You know what I'm saying? Like, just like I'm not gonna talk about prison life because that's like, I hate this even associate that with blackness because that's so stereotypical. But a lot of my homies be having jail talk. You know what I mean? And sometimes that's like a bonding experience for some folks. Unfortunately, a lot of black people who are political prisoners. So I gotta make sure I explain this and flush this out because people gonna get on my ass about this. So anyway, so I can't relate to that lifestyle, but a lot of black people can, right? But that don't make me less black. So as far as dating outside your race, man, it kind of dilutes our people a little bit because
whoa. I mean? When you say dilute, are you trying to keep us pure?
Yeah, man. You know what I'm saying? Just the coffee is not as black as it once was.
Wait, hold up. Hey, first off, we can't be on here sounding like some African Aryans. We can't do that.
Yeah, I know. I'm just joking. I'm just, sometimes the more you talk, the more you're wrong. I really don't care, man, because we all black when the lights go off.
Exactly. So I mean, for me, hey, I'm gonna be honest, man. I was in an interracial relationship. I was married to a white woman. Woman for 6 years. It was a great learning experience. What I will say is this: can you be pro-black and date outside your relationship? Yes. It just takes work. You gotta actually do shit. Because I know people that have the blackest wives and they don't do shit for black folks. Like they don't do anything in the community. They don't donate. They don't even associate with black people or the culture. Period. So. Just because you got a black wife doesn't mean you're about this black life. All right. That's a bar. It's going to be in a t-shirt. You try to steal it, I'm going to sue you. All right. Keep that in mind.
So I'm glad you brought that up because I see people really like making strong claims about that. And the people that be talking and co-signing that ain't this shit for black people.
That's what I'm saying. They haven't done anything, but they have an opinion. They want to critique you. The other question was, if you date outside your culture, should you know something about that culture that you're going to be interacting with prior to dating someone outside your culture?
I think so. I think you should. You know what I'm saying? I don't think you gotta pander. That's what I don't like. I don't like when white people pander. You know what I'm saying? Like
So
white
so the
people that's
first
listening,
date.
don't pander.
So if I'm a white guy dating a black woman, I can't be like, hey, first date, Popeyes. You know what I'm saying?
Nah,
That's not going to work.
And white people don't be trying to ask me to give you some electric slide lessons. You know what I'm saying? Like just understand your limitations, right? I understand my limitations. I'm not going to try to front. Just be you. You know what I mean? And that's what makes relationships better, is when everyone combine their uniqueness together, right? That's what the melting
Yes.
pot of America is all about. But nah, you know what I mean? What was the question again?
Yo, the question was, are there prerequisites for dating outside your culture? So I've dated all types of women, you know, hey man, listen, Rainbow Coalition. I'm trying to unite everyone. You know, I'm trying to unite everyone, man. Hey, listen, man, I just saw Judas and the Black Messiah. You know, I'm just trying to be the Fred Hampton when it comes to my ladies, man. I'm trying to unite everyone from all different aspects together under one roof, right? And so my thing is, I've dated outside of the culture a bunch of times. I try to do a little research on who I'm dealing with, because I don't want to get in a situation where I do something that's offensive, you know, because I know how it would feel towards me, you know, and it's like, well, shit, it'll take me 10, 15 minutes, 20 minutes if I'm interested in somebody romantically, or even if it's just like, we're new friends, we're new associates. I'm going to try to learn some about your culture, but I'm not going to come and say, like, if I got a friend that's Irish, I'm not going to be like, hey man, so that potato famine, bro, that's not going to be my opening line. It's just, I need a frame of reference, you know, and normally for like more recent shit, I'm not about to, you know, go date a Mexican girl and start talking about the fucking Mayans and the Aztecs or some shit like that. Like, no, that's fucking stupid. You know what I'm saying? So
like them cages crazy.
yeah, like, yo, so how you feel about ice? That's not an icebreaker. The icebreaker should not be the conversation about ice. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to the Latinx community. You guys did not flame me Lex podcast. So hey, we're good.
Yeah, definitely you gotta be kind. I think that's really important. So you don't, like, you know, do anything offensive. I think that's where you should. That should be the foundation. Because like everything else to come.
Yeah, because right now you see Vice President, Madam Vice President, the Queen, Queen Kamala Harris. I'm just gonna refer to her as Queen Kamala Harris. I'm not gonna say Vice President, because this is your country. We just live here. All right. So she is married to a white man. All right. A white dude. And let me tell you, I looked this white dude up. He's okay. All right. He gets my stamp of approval. He didn't need it. Right. But he seems like a cool dude. He makes her happy. And that's what she said is the most important thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, when you get to a certain age, you know, and she's of a certain age, you don't have time to be picky, man. You got to just find what makes you happy and cultivate that. Cultivate happiness, right? Don't cultivate potential. Like, oh, she's bad. She could do this in the future, or oh, he's this, he can do this in the future. It's like, no, what about this person makes me happy, and how can we cultivate that? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, and that's all it is, man. Because let me tell you, I encourage everybody to date outside of their culture, because that will teach you so much about your own culture, and that'll teach you the pros and the cons, and that'll also teach you about other people's cultures, and then you can just start taking their shit that's like really good. You know what I'm saying? It's
but have you ever dated outside your culture and felt like you had to represent your culture? Like
all the
they
time.
said something crazy.
All
I
the time.
I was you know, talking to this Caucasian, this Italian girl in college, and we was chilling watching, like, I think BT Uncut one night. And it was like when they be having wild commercials on, like, at that hour, because the commercials get sleazier the later it is. And she was like, "Oh my God, she's fat." I was looking like, that's a black woman, and she's not fat. She's thick. Like I didn't say that to her.
Oh,
but I was
my
mad.
God.
I was mad that I didn't. Like, yo, I really should have held my sisters down in that instance. But you know, I'm married to a black woman now. Say that just for all the listeners I don't know. But yeah, this is a funny situation. We felt like, damn, I gotta, like, if it was a camera with a studio audience behind it, like, they would be looking down at me right now.
That's what's up, man. Say it loud. My wife is black and I'm proud. I'm single. I'm single. So white, yellow, purple, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Come holla at the boy. But Rihanna, it's you first. But yeah, man, it's crazy because right now, and all of this shit that we're talking about is not even on the topic. Here's the question: you're a married guy, so I'm just gonna ask you if you know about this, right? How are people dating in the fucking quarantine, in the pandemic? How do you meet new people in the pandemic?
That gotta be very challenging, bro.
Because
I think you have to be
Yo.
really big on online dating.
Yeah, you have to, because how do you, like, back in the day, this was my move, right? I go to Whole Foods, I'm in the produce section, I walk up, I get like an avocado, walk up to a young lady, I'm like, hey, I'm like, ma'am, I'm new to the natural, food game. I'm new to picking my own produce at a place like this. Can you help me tell if this avocado is ripe? And she's like, oh, and that's a whole 15-minute window for me to put down my foundation. I don't want to say the game. I got no game. Some of y'all just understand my story. You know what I'm saying? So listen. And so the thing is that you don't have that now. Now, if you see somebody in a grocery store and you walk within 6 feet of them, they are taking out their fucking iPhone and putting you on Facebook. If you go within 6 feet of somebody to try to talk to them, they are taking their phone out and they're recording you because you are nuts. So now you have to use the online shit. But it's like, all right, so if you're dating somebody, it's like, you're like, yo, so when's the last time you got tested? And they're thinking STD, and we're like, no, COVID, motherfucker. Like, yo.
Yeah, I think it's also a good opportunity to be creative, right? Like, yo, you can really meet somebody and you can be on some shit. Like, let's have a Zoom. I know like apps have ways where you can watch things collectively. Like Disney Plus has it. I think Netflix has like a plugin where you can watch things collectively. I think it's a way where you can kind of, like, yo, I'm just thinking of something I would do. Like I'm a very creative person when it comes to that type of stuff. I would do like a Zoom. I would like send some food over to a young lady's house and we can open at the same time and watch a movie together and just like type, you know what I mean? Or just like, yo, let's watch it together and type, instead of whispering, let's type our responses in the chat. And I think that can make it dope as you build up to the trust level where y'all want to risk the physical interaction. You know what I'm saying? So y'all can break that ice and you can be in my what they call that in my, I forgot what they call them. Like,
your bubble?
Yeah, my bubble.
Your
Yes,
bubble?
I'm opening my bubble up to you. Like, it's a whole word for that. So I think
Hold up.
it's a way to be creative.
Is that a no homo moment? Shout out to the LGBT listeners.
Be in my bubble.
He said, "Yo, I'm gonna open up my bubble till you done."
Yeah.
Listen, this is a very progressive podcast.
Good job. I like that.
Listen,
I didn't
man.
catch that one at first, but yo, I think it's really hard, but you gotta be creative and it can be done.
Yeah. I see a lot of people doing the Zoom dates, or they're doing virtual dates, or they're just going out and dating with masks on. And that's cool. You just gotta be creative. You gotta. And first off, not everyone's doing that. Some people are just acting like this COVID shit never happened, and they're down there just partying, going crazy, and that's cool too, man. But I don't live in Georgia or Florida or Texas, and I value my life. So we gotta teach the audience. We gotta be responsible with our platform. So if you want to date, hey man, be creative. You can still be safe and be socially distant. And still get to know somebody. You can still be intimate with somebody and be socially distant. Because intimacy isn't always physical. It's the emotional connection, how you make that person feel. And it's like you said, building that bank of credibility by doing all that safe shit, bro. Let me tell you, if you date safely during a pandemic, you will never have to have safe sex ever. Because you were safe. You were safe with COVID. And so if you're being that careful during COVID, hey man, you're good. You're good. You guys had time to get tested for COVID and for chlamydia. Bam.
I definitely don't envy you single folk out there, or unless you got like, you know what I mean? Because usually you single, you might got somebody like, you know what I mean? You got somebody that you can just holler at, a smashing buddy.
I mean, hey man, nowadays you don't know who they around. You know what I'm saying? Because now you gotta, bro. Oh shit, man. Now you got to wear 2 bags over both heads. You got to double bag it. It's a whole new meaning of double bagging, bro. You got a mask on. You can't kiss them. You know what I'm saying? Because you don't know where they've been. You know what I'm saying? So, hey, man. I don't know, man.
Out there.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. That's crazy. It's like Snoop Dogg said. He said the pussy ain't good enough to get burnt while I'm up in it, and neither is it. And it's not worth catching COVID either. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, I want to hug my grandmother, and I can't hug her if I have a fucking upper respiratory disease that will kill me. All right, so that's the thing, man. So if you're dating, hey, man, be creative. Let me take a second here to refresh my screen and see where we're at, because we have not followed anything that we
jumped
forth.
over. But I think one thing that you could jump into that would be a perfect segue is the whole Danny Lee and the baby.
Yeah, Danny Lay, because we're talking about colorism and race and all this kind of shit, right? So Danny Lay, shout out to Danny Lay. I used to follow her on social media. I stopped following her when we started dating the baby because I didn't want to be a hater. All right. And so bro, I was on every IG live, like, yo, she gonna see this heart I leave. This gonna be the heart she see. You know what I'm saying? This gonna be the heart she see, dog. No. And so what it was is that Danny Lay is not a black woman. She's I want to say Dominican and white. And she was dating the baby, who is extremely dark. Like you got Wesley Snipes, Eddie Murphy, and you got the baby now. They are the pillars of blackness.
Holding it down.
You know what I'm saying? They're holding it down for the dark-skinned brothers, right? And so the baby has a baby mom, has a baby daughter, and they're both all dark-skinned black people, North Carolina. They're tanned, right? And so he's dating Danny Lay, and she was going through some shit with baby mom, and then she decided to release a song called Yellowbone, saying that is what her boo, the baby, preferred. And then in less than 2 weeks, the baby broke up with her. And yes, and the baby, he broke up with her. And I'm not saying that that's what it was, but if I'm a black dude and I got my non-black woman making a song about me preferring yellow bone women, I gotta get the fuck out of there. You know what I'm saying?
See, I ain't do the knowledge to it being a shot to his baby mother.
Whether it was a shot or not, man, it's like, yo, it's the perception, it's the climate. And then you ain't yellow bone. That's
yeah.
Damn, red bone and yellow bone only pertains to people of African American descent because their skin tone was diluted by their Irish overseer and slave master. That's why. That's where it comes from. It's not like something to be super proud of. It's like something that we created out of the controversy. The same way we use the N-word, we took that yellow bone, red bone. We know what it came from, but we use that as a term to describe us. That's our term.
It don't apply to you. It don't apply to you, guys. Be like Big Lotto, okay? Big Lotto. Even though she's like Big Mulatto.
Yes, that was her name. She has officially changed her name to Big Lotto. I applaud her for that. That was the only thing stopping me from publicly being a fan of Big Lotto. I'm gonna tell you right now, yo.
But yeah. She trying to get that sex thing going, that sex symbol. But I wanted to just quote. I had a dope ass quote, man. Curtis Mayfield said, "Hi, yellow girl. Listen, you're just the surface of this dark, deep well." And that's what yellow bones are, right? We are a dark, deep well of different hues of blackness. And you can't claim that if you're not one of us. So when you making statements like that, I ain't even mad at the baby for like, all right, she not reading the room, not in this climate right here. And it's okay to say, you know what I mean? He preferred, me, say exotic or something. Say exotic, okay? That'd have been safer. Because it's a preference at the end of the day.
I mean, and that is, for me, it's like, for him to do that, I got to give him a lot of credit, man, because he has a daughter, man, a dark-skinned daughter. And that sends a very loud statement to her. Like, she's very young. You know what I'm saying? But she's going to have computers and the internet, and she'll be able to look at her dad's past, and she'll be able to see this moment he showed what he stood for on that matter.
The internet is so damn savage. They remind her. She'll post a picture like, my daddy loved my dark skin. Your daddy ain't love it when he was with her. Like,
but now
reminds you.
But now they got, when it came time, like I don't want to say he chose, but he had to make a moral decision, and he went with his family, you know. So I can salute him to that, you know. But here's the deal, man. Let me tell you something, man. All you light-skinned folks, all you dark-skinned folks, all of you guys are black. All right. And I know I'm one of the first people to make a comment or a joke about the light-skinned, dark-skinned thing. But at the end of the day, y'all are my people, man. I love all of you guys equally. However, I can't go to the beach with nobody light-skinned. All right. I can't do it because you will change colors in real time. You know what I'm saying? In real time. And that shit scares me. I don't like that. Don't like go to the beach and get tanned and then come chill. Like, I don't want to watch you tan. That's weird. You know what I'm saying? Because then it's like, bro, it's like, do you just like avoid the sun when you want to hang around your white friends? Oh shit. Stay woke.
Light-skinned dudes. And light-skinned dudes, people always want to fight y'all. So I hang light-skinned dudes always getting the most beef. Like,
because they bruise easy. And so I
think it's their face look punchable to people. I don't know.
Yeah, man. You know, we used to always think light-skinned dudes were soft, man. Like little they
be the first people you hook on. That was like the perception, like you hooked the light-skinned Joker first.
Yeah.
Shout out to Nino Brown. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man. Fucking Albie Shore looking ass motherfuckers, man.
Let's touch on what's his name though, man. Speaking of black, the guy that played Fred Hampton, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I don't know how to pronounce his name. Can you pronounce his name?
I ain't even gonna try. The guy from Get Out, you know what I mean? The guy that played in Black Panther.
Yeah.
He's the guy with the rhinos. The dude that hung with the rhinos.
Yeah, so I forgot his name and I would look it up, but you know, I don't really feel like it, man, because all you guys are gonna go watch the movie and I'll look it up after I say what I gotta say. But yeah, he's a black dude.
His name is Daniel Kaluuya.
Okay.
Kaluuya. But
Wait,
shout out to Meth Damon. I don't think people call him that enough. Meth Damon.
What the hell is that?
You know Meth Damon, the guy that he was the Fed. He looked like they called Meth Damon because he looked like a methed out version of Matt Damon. And he also was in Breaking Bad. He was in Breaking Bad. So I just love that nickname. And I read that, I said, that is hilarious, Meth Damon. But he was the FBI agent. But anyway, your thoughts on that, man? I think that was a powerful movie. We talked about it lightly last episode. And
man. Shout out to No Name. She was wrong about that movie. If she thought that movie was going to make it seem like Mr. O'Neill was able to be redeemed, that movie did the exact opposite. That movie was, God, like, I saw that movie. So I watched it last night. You know, I watched it completely sober. I watched it and then I just sat and thought about it, like, you know, because it makes you feel something afterwards, but you got to figure out what it is, because it's not. It wasn't anger, you know, but it was like, fuck, what am I gonna do? And that's how I felt after watching it. And I don't know if that was the purpose of, you know, Ryan Coogler and the team that made the movie, but that's how I felt afterwards. Was like, yo, what the fuck am I gonna do? Like that, the guy was 21. I say the guy, Fred Hampton, the legend, the leader, Fred Hampton. The chairman Fred Hampton was 21 years old, right? 21 years old, leading a national organization, essentially, that the FBI feared because, you know, they were one of the biggest threats to white America. As you know, J. Edgar Hoover said, they were a bigger threat than communism, you know, and that's what it was. If you got somebody uniting all the people, whether they're black, white, poor, gay, straight, Jewish, Catholic, all of that, right? And unlike MLK, where you're having a non-violent reaction, he's uniting them from a sense of militance. That's scary, man. Because he was more socialist, right? He was more so trying to, like, based off what I took from it, he was really just trying to call out the inequalities of this capitalist society. You know what I'm saying? And that we have more in common as far as like the working people. Like, if you look at this social hierarchy, man, social hierarchies in society is always based off of a pyramid, because the bigger part of the pyramid is the bottom, and that's where most of the people in society lie, and that's the bottom of the social and economic status. And we have more in common, and we have the numbers, but we still fight amongst each other, right? And that's why they feared him. And it just was an interesting story, man. And what I did before I watched it, because I watched it with my wife, I had to make sure we were both ready to watch it.
And so, but I watched Panther,
Mhm.
the 1995 movie.
Shout out to
about
King Woodbine.
Yes, and Kadeem Hardison, Mario Van Peebles did it. Yo, that was a great movie in hindsight. Like I haven't watched that since I was an adult. And I
Mhm.
think that's like something that people should go back. It's on YouTube for free, by the way.
Yeah.
So check that out, man, because it really it makes references to different chapters. But I just think that was such a great movie, man. And one thing I took away from it, I saw somebody try to co-op, and I was kind of offended. I saw somebody talk about. Let me tell you what, this is the corniest shit on social media, but I don't want to say the person, but he gonna post this in his chat. He posted this on his. He said, "Y'all gonna give y'all some free game, man. Politics is war without bloodshed, and war is politics with bloodshed." So he didn't put no quotations. He just said, "I'm gonna give y'all some free game." That irks me when people do that.
Yeah.
Like, why you try to take something that Fred Hampton said in a movie?
Like, we're not gonna know. Like, people not gonna, like, we ain't just watched the same movie.
not only that, like, it's layers to that quote, right? So Fred Hampton said it, but Fred Hampton quoted Mao Zedong, who was the first person to say that quote. So I just was like, oh my God, like, I just wanted to comment, like, Black Panther, I see what you did there. I mean, not Black Panther. I want to say Judas and the Black Messiah. I wanted to just do that just to be funny, but
yeah, like, hey, you watched the movie too this weekend, didn't you? You got HBO Max or a Fire Stick, don't you? You watched the movie. You watched the movie.
I saw that when I was scrolling. Like, look at this shit here.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. You know, hey, man, just like Abraham Lincoln said, man, you can't believe everything on the internet because it's in quotes. All right, keep that in mind, man. Keep that in mind. Honest Abe, fucking very smart dude. Thank you for freeing the slaves. All right. No, so the thing that was unique about Fred Hampton, man, and this is why he was so feared, because I love American history, man. And what Fred Hampton did was the same thing that John Brown did. And John Brown, for those who don't know, he was an American abolitionist, anti-slavery activist. He was a white man, right? So when we talk about people who are allies, or how do you show that you're anti-racist, be anti-racist. Be actively anti-racist, right? And so John Brown and his sons, along with him, he was cool with Harriet Tubman, all these cool people from back in the day, in the Underground Railroad, anti-slavery days. He was out there liberating freed slaves, and he had poor white farmers, he had the sharecroppers, he had the freedmen, he had the black slaves, and they were going around fucking up plantations and freeing slaves. And let me tell you something. Yo, he had a planned raid on George Washington's state. You know what I'm saying? And yeah.
That's all we.
That's what ended it.
A lot of people associate when Martin Luther King did the Poor People's March in Memphis, because he was like changing his philosophy more to like a common argument against like the mistreatment of poor people,
and that's what got him killed.
Yes, so that's usually like the result of when you're trying to unite people from different ethnic backgrounds, but all have the same economic interests. And that's why, you have Republicans in a lot of instances getting people to go against their own economic interests to support them. And it's just interesting, man. But I really, a lot of the thing that stood out about that movie was him really talking about a lot of the Marxists and the socialists. And people act like that is the boogeyman. Like, why is having like good healthcare such a bad idea? Like,
man. So here's the thing, right? Here's the thing. I make a lot of jokes about socialism. I am 100% not a socialist. I do not believe in socialism or communism, but I do believe in social programs, because that was what the basis of the New Deal was, and that was established and implemented here in America by our own president. And so the thing is that all of the social programs that those guys were promoting and those people are promoting are great. Their ideas were great. However, the issue with socialism, communism, Marxism is that when it has been in action beyond the revolution, it has always failed, because it always turns corrupt. And the leader, like the person that leads the revolution, isn't the person that leads the new government, and like we always like to put Che Guevara up here on this pedestal because he led a revolution. But it's like, hey man, what happened after You know what I'm saying? Like what happened afterwards?
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? Like shit got fucking crazy, you know? And that's the thing to keep in mind is that you have these revolutionaries who have these great ideas and these great principles and these great morals, and they have to have those in order to get these movements going. But they normally don't get to be the guys that run these countries or run these new establishments, you know? And that's the problem, man. And so it's like Russia, right? Or China, you know, they have you know, socialized healthcare, but they also have no freedom of speech, and they control the internet, and they can just execute you for no reason. And they're also doing ethnic cleansing, both countries.
Both countries.
Yeah, I mean, what with China, you know, it's the ethnic Muslims that are there, and then with Russia, you know, they're just killing gay people still, and you know, they're still fucking up Crimea, shit like that.
Yep.
You know, just normal shit. Shit's been going on for a while that no one pays attention to because we're watching Love and Hip Hop. But that's why we can't say socialism is good, Marxism is good, communism is good. You know, we got to be very specific.
It's just a mixture, like you said,
things like that.
Like you said, social program. I'm glad you made that distinction, right? So social programs, right, to establish a foundational entitlement for society. Like, we just at least be entitled to solid healthcare. Like, that's all. Nobody trying to say we have to make the same amount of money and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
because I think that's unrealistic, right? Like, you can't squash or impede the ambition of man, right? And that's what sometimes communism does, and that's why it causes corruption. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, beyond sometimes, every time. You just look just look at, you know, when China, when they had the Great Leap Forward, right? And they made all these advances in technology and the military power. How many of their own people did they have to kill, right? How many of their own people did they have to starve in order to make those advances? The same thing with Russia. When Russia had their big advancement after their revolution and they went into no shit real communism, they, you know, they had their own genocides of their own people. And those were decisions made by the government in order to support communism. You know what I'm saying? Because that's just how it is sometimes, man. You know, like, you got to say, hey, we got to let these 100,000 people just starve because we're not going to release food from the national reserves to feed these people, because that's what the legacy of communism is, just a bunch of people getting killed or dying. You know what I'm saying? Like, we can't name one program that has come out of communism or that has come out of true socialism that has actually worked. We can name these programs that are social programs, but we can't say, hey, this socialist society, this communist society actually is something that we want to emulate. No, democracy is cool. We just have to actually do it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, representative democracy.
Yes.
So I just teach a class on that. So it's interesting. But yeah, it's literally no such thing as a utopian society. Everything about communism, socialism is theoretical.
Yeah, and
it's
like
nothing concrete.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, everybody gotta understand is, like, when you have people that say, like, hey, this person is a socialist or this person is a communist, like, hey, man, be careful, because you're saying they want to kill you. Like, you're saying, like, it's not just about redistributing wealth. Like, you got to understand the power that these words. It's like, if I call somebody a Nazi, it is because I truly in my heart believe you are a Nazi and you are a threat to my existence or the existence of somebody else's, right? You know, I'm just not going to label somebody a communist, because it's like, yo, you are a threat to somebody. Like, and we got to be very careful with what type of language and words that we use. But it was a super, super dope movie. If you haven't watched it, watch it. Subscribe to HBO Max, and then go watch the Snyder Cut of Justice League. All right.
Ooh, I can't wait for that to drop, by the way. Ooh, when that drop? When that drop?
March, next month. So the
anticipation, man, like, just a little clips they dropping, it looked like that's going to be dope. And if a lot of people we don't trust, I mean, I don't know, man. I'm entertained by those movies. I ain't gonna front. I
trust his vision, right? I trust his work, right? His track record is impeccable. And even though I don't like Superman, I like his movies. I like his Superman movies. I like everything that he does.
So how much was left on the cutting room floor? Were they able to take all this old footage to make a new movie?
So it's like an extra hour of stuff. But there's only, but what I read is that there's no actual new footage. So nothing was reshot. It's just stuff that they didn't use and then recut, or like so like the 3D modeling for the bad guy, I forgot his fucking name. with the fucking like his shit's gonna be different. They show Dark Side in this movie. They show like his homeworld, things like that. It's a bunch of shit, you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
And so I don't know if you watched the like the director's cut of I want to say Batman vs Superman or the last movie or they fucking did. They kind of alluded to they already changed some of the shit in that as well. You know what I'm saying? So if you watch the original version, then like the new director cut that just came out, that's like 3 hours long, and then the Snyder cut is about to be like the Lord of the Rings, then yeah, you know, you'll have a lot of content to watch. But yeah, that's coming out next. And then they're still, you know, Marvel's still holding the Black Widow movie, waiting on theaters. Yo, first off, I know I just said some wild shit about China earlier. Shout out to China, all right, on behalf of myself and LeBron James, because China, their movie theaters are open again, right? And they just had a movie called like I don't know, China Detective 3. I think that's like the name of the movie. It just broke the box office record for that Avengers Endgame had in China, like the 1-day record. It broke it, and this is off of a pandemic. This damn movie. All right. Yeah. Look up Avengers box office record being broken. Like in a pandemic, they broke the Avengers box office record.
It's why they just, I'm looking at the headlines. They already come in that China. They talk about a bored China propels box office sales to record.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's the thing, right? We in a pandemic and they out here breaking box office records, man. I can't even go to the fucking gym, but that's because when everybody was trying to go outside the house during the pandemic, they had guards out there that would shoot you. So that's the difference. That's the difference. So China,
man, this news is going to make Marvel really tuck that even longer.
I mean, here's the thing, man. First off, all you got to do, right, is get everyone to get vaccinated, and then we can go back outside. That's it. That's all. That's all you got to do. Everybody get vaccinated. And if you don't want to get vaccinated, then don't do it. But if you don't get vaccinated, you have to wear an armband that has a V. It has a V with a fucking cross through it, so we can show that you're not vaccinated, so I can stay away from you. I know that sounds, like some shit they do like on Attack on Titan, but that's just what it is, man. Yeah, you guys, I need you, if you listen, all you fucking sickos out there that don't want to get a vaccine, or don't want to wear a mask or socially distance yourself, listen, man, you are why I can't go watch Black Widow. You know what I'm saying? So you are why the new Lego movie is never coming out. You know what I'm saying? Avatar is not going to see theaters until 2025 because you don't want to wear a mask and stay in the house. You know what I'm saying? So thank you for being a dickhead. All right, the end. But on that, talking about another epic battle. We got Batman versus Superman, the Justice League versus Darkseid, and we got another battle that I don't know if the world is ready for, but it is Meek Mill and Tekashi 6ix9ine. This is bigger than Meek Mill and Drake. This is bigger than 50 and Ja, bigger than Jay-Z and fucking Nas, man. You got Meek Mill and Tekashi 6ix9ine. They got into an altercation outside of a nightclub in Atlanta. Stay the fuck out of Atlanta. 2 Chainz already told you guys, stay out of Atlanta. Fucking T.I. told you guys, stay out of Atlanta. Goddamn Killer Mike told you guys, stay out of Atlanta, causing fucking trouble. We just had King Von shot. Not too long ago in Atlanta. All right.
Murder.
Why are you going to Atlanta when you're not from Atlanta, causing trouble? Stay out of Atlanta. Shit is hot. They don't need the extra attention. But Meek Mill and Tekashi 6ix9ine. The only reason why I'm bringing this shit up, man, is because Meek Mill made a diss song already, and he didn't have that same energy when it came to Drake. Meek Mill, why are you scared of Drake? That's the question.
Drake, because Drake hit his ass too hard. He ain't know how to respond. But he need to listen to his big homie Hove, man. Hove told us a long time ago, man, don't argue with fools because people from a distance can't tell who's who. So he should have just played that whole situation differently. I would have just linked on the car and I would have tried to play some cool shit. I linked in the car like, this nigga, he know he can't. I would have played that situation so differently. I would have had the camera on me like, yo, he know he not gonna be able to touch me. I know I can't touch him. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I would have played it like that, and he would have made him look like the clown he already is.
Exactly.
Yeah, man. Keep that same energy with Drake, man.
Yeah. Soon as you
And he
start going back
responded
and
to what's
forth.
the name too. He responded to Whack 100 also.
Yeah, he responded to Whack 100, who said, "Hey, man," who said exactly what you said. Like, yo, don't fucking do that shit. Or if you're gonna respond, then you handle your business. Like, it ain't to be posted on the internet or whatever. Like, if you got a problem with a motherfucker, you handle that shit and that's it. If not, you walk away. You know what I'm saying? Because you got a former felon who was just begging to get off probation, who finally got off probation. Then you got Tekashi 69, he's on probation.
I don't know. He probably still an employee.
He's probably still an employee with the Federal Bureau of Informants. he has a W-2 from the FBI, and he's out here fucking with Meek Mill. It's just funny, man, because it's like a motherfucker that's trying to stay out of jail and a motherfucker that's trying to get motherfuckers in jail just interacting. And it's like, at the end of the day, this whole shit is funny because none of y'all really want to go to jail. And none of y'all really want to fight. And neither one of them really can fight. So it's like, yo, man, y'all got security. Just like stand behind security, make security fight. Rappers, if you can hear me, rappers, this shit is going to sound crazy. Rich rappers, if you have security, don't fight. Make your security fight each other. Make this shit like Game of Thrones. Choose the champion out of your crew, right? And you choose one fighter from your crew, and they choose a fighter. Exactly. And they choose a fighter from their crew. And when you have rap beef, y'all motherfuckers going to earn y'all check. Right, so instead of rappers getting shot, all y'all motherfuckers on the payroll that don't do shit but roll up weed and take up space in the studio, right? Now you guys are going to fight for the honor of your rapper.
You just inspired me, bro. We need a new CB4, and that would be a perfect little joke right there, like a CB. You saw CB4 before, right?
Yeah, of course, man.
I was say CB4 was like so ahead of its time for it to be a rap parody movie. Like, we need a rap parody movie now.
Oh my god, that and Hollywood Shuffle, dog.
Yes. We need those. We need something like that, but don't let the Wayans do it though. Please don't let them do it.
Shout out to the Wayans family. You guys are amazing. However, stop making movies. The end.
Yeah, chill.
Yeah,
Hollywood Shuffle. You know, Keenan Ivory Wayne had a lot to do with that, even though that was really what's my man name? Damn, it escapes me.
Robert Townsend,
the man responsible for 5 Heartbeats. Anyway,
yo, so sports. Or you got a dip, or you got time for sports?
I got a dip.
All right, fuck it, we out there,
man. But just before we go on sports, man, Draymond Green, interesting tape. Maybe we can touch that later. See how maybe that's something we can pick up on next week.
Yeah, because we don't have shit else to do.
Yes.
All right, man. So we about to be out. You got anything you want to say to the people?
Nah, man. Thank y'all for listening, man. Make sure y'all subscribe. Make sure you share. Make sure you like. Make sure you comment. Just interact so we can get these whatever them words that's escaping me right now. That's how I know I'm tired. These algorithms going. So algorithms, so we can get in the flow of things and we can get rated and get into the eyes of the people and the ears that need to hear us.
All right. I just want to say, everybody that listens to this podcast, thank you. You are my most valuable listeners. I love you all. I don't have an outro. All I'm gonna say is this, man. Fuck being woke. Should have never been sleep. We out.